Welcome, everybody. This is Nick Federoff on gardening, and welcome to America's most listened to radio gardening show. Thank you very much for tuning into the program. We talk about gardening, landscaping, and help you out with all of your indoor and outdoor living ideas. Now, you know, this guy that we have on our guest that I've been telling you has been a special guest, and he's kind of been incognito as far as who he is until right this moment. You got to practically be living in a cave to not know who P. Allen Smith is. And how you doing today?
I'm doing great, Nick. How are you?
You know what? If I do any better, they're going to have to arrest me, so let's not go there, okay?
Okay. Well, I can do that.
All right. Well, good. Hey, listen, thanks a lot for being on the program today. Really exciting. You've got a TV programs that you're putting together, and you've got all kinds of stuff. Tell us about yourself a little bit.
Well, I'm on the Today Show, a regular there, where we talk about gardening, and I have a PBS show called Garden Home, and we also have a syndicated show called P. Allen Smith Gardens, and I do some work for the Weather Channel. And I've written 5 books, all in the Garden Home series, and the last one was just out in February called Bringing the Garden Indoors.
Now, you do realize that what we're going to do is a little bit later on, I'll put you off the air, but it's just you and me. I'm going to find out what that P stands for, okay?
That sounds great. I'll reveal it.
But that'll just be between you and me, and we won't tell anybody, okay?
I'm with you.
Hey, you know what? I have to tell you, and we're going to be talking about gardening indoors in a few moments. But I want to tell you, I have to admit, I enjoyed watching a program that you did recently, and you probably filmed it 12 years ago because that's the way it works sometimes. But it was on your house that you're building and the energy efficiency of it.
Yes, that's retreat, and it's actually not that old, Nick. We just up in September, and that's the basis of this whole new series that's coming out starting this month, the Garden Home series.
Oh, well, very good. Well, I'm looking forward to that. I really was glued to the television. Hey, look at that! Look how thick those walls are. What is he good? What is he doing?
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. We have we had a big open house. We had about 2,000 people out to the farm last September, which was really fantastic. And we're open for tours. We take groups of 40 and more out there just to show the environmental initiatives that we're underway with. And, of course, the garden there is quite large. It's the length of about 3 football fields, and it's all organic. And, we're just having a great time with it. We just put in an acre vegetable garden. This seems to be the year of the vegetable, and so we're showing folks how to grow some of their own food.
Good for you. Real exciting stuff. Now, that's all fine and dandy. But when you really think about it, I spend a little bit more time indoors.
Yeah.
And with that, you've got yourself some nice reading over here. P. Allen Smith's Bringing the Garden Indoors. What are we doing with this?
Well, I don't know about you and your family, Nick, but we claim in my family that we suffer from a genetic disorder called Pacus ratus. And our houses are full of all sorts of things that have been stored away in cabinets and closets. And it occurred to me that it's a real shame that we don't use our collections inside that we have indoors with our collections that we have outside. I'm a hopeless collector of plants, and so by bringing some of these things that I've had in cabinets and had put away with some of the beautiful things that I grow in my garden and keeping them inside, it's just a way to bring nature indoors. And the book is laid out room by room, not season by season, but room by room. There are ideas for all 4 seasons. But the idea is that you can go through each room and get 65 of these ideas on how to bring nature indoors.
Well, one of the things that I liked was, and I encourage people to do this on my show here on a regular basis, and that is to press the plants that you enjoy the most. And I really like the way that you've taken plants, you've pressed them, and then you framed them.
Right, absolutely. It's one of my favorite ideas in the book is bringing things in from the nursery, but using them inside the home for a few days. Just enjoy them inside before you take them out and plant them in the garden. It's a simple idea, but hydrangeas will soon be blooming in the nurseries. Mm-hmm. Why not bring it in and place it in a large basket, set it, by the fireplace or whatever, and just enjoy it.
Yeah, you could do so many decorative things too. You don't necessarily have to keep them in that hideous container. Wipe the container off. Do something decorative to it. Get the kids involved.
Yeah, I think that's so important, getting children involved. And there's several projects in the book that are perfect for kids and letting them see some of these things grow not only in the garden but inside.
Here's something I'll let you borrow, and that is a long time ago with my kids. In fact, I have 3 kids, but my youngest grew the fastest. I mean, we're talking about a kid who's today he's 6'6". He's got a size 17 shoe, and the kid's a monster.
Well, that sounds like a good worker in the garden to me.
Yeah, he's 18 years old, still a teenager. All right, let's regroup on those words that you just said. All right.
Okay.
But what was really interesting, what I did with him, because I says, look at this kid. I'm buying shoes every 3 days for him. So what we did is that we took his shoes, and of course as they wore out, and we created planters out of them. And it's really neat to see the different planters that were made based on the length of his clodhoppers.
That's really fun. Shoes are a fun way to grow sedums and all kinds of sempervivums and that sort of thing. So that's very, very good.
Yeah, and then it's then of course it's got that, you have that little bit of time with your kid. It's bad enough that they're spending all this time rotting their minds out in front of a video game or something else that's mindless like that. This way you get them involved. And I see that some of the things that you're doing here through with the book is mixing produce with flowers and the concept. Of course, we're talking edible flowers.
Right.
And mixing that with that. That's always a really nice pick-me-up kind of thing, and it really can flip out your guests that come over the house.
When you do an acorn squash in the fall and you hollow it out as a vase and you fill it with things from the garden in the autumn, it does flip them out, but it's such a beautiful presentation.
Yeah. You know what? And it's also a great thing to do to introduce these kind of concepts that you outlay like this to other people and bring them as housewarming gifts, for instance.
Well, any way to get people connected to the garden is what I'm all about.
Yeah.
And there's so many ways to go about it. If you're more of a person who enjoys houseplants and, isn't too much into being outdoors, this book is for you because it really tries to articulate lots of ways you can pick up things at the market or the grocery store and bring a little life and pizzazz into the home.
Well, all right, now this is just between you and me now, okay?
Yeah, I got it.
All right, now, do you and I, do we really hate gardening as much as we say?
Oh, yeah, uh-huh.
How long have you been doing this, by the way?
Oh, heavens, my mother produced a photograph of me a few years ago when I was 2 years old in the front garden of our house holding up a trowel.
Oh, is that right?
She said, look at this. She said, see, even at 2 years old, you weren't happy with the way the front of the house looked. And
oh, that's
you were trying to
funny.
change it.
That is priceless. Well,
yeah.
Good for you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the voice of P. Allen Smith, and with his new book, Bringing the Garden Indoors. Where can we find it?
You can find it in all the major bookstores, your local bookstores, and Amazon.com, and it is number 5 in the Garden Home series, and we're working on number 6. So I encourage everybody to pick it up and go to the website, pallensmith.com. We have a newsletter every Friday that we send out to all of our fans, and follow the Garden Home Retreat. And I'm so glad you like the house, Nick. That really makes me feel good.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, I was glued. I was late for work that day.
Well, I don't want to do that to you.
Well, you're very welcome, and thank you for being on the program today, and I hope we can have you back and we can talk some more shop and let people know what's going out there in the world of gardening, because as we both know, it's America's #1 hobby.
It is. Anytime, Nick. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
And again, if you want to find out more about P. Allen Smith's book, you could just do a search anywhere. You could probably, like I says, go to any bookstore. You could online, et cetera, et cetera. So it's real exciting stuff. All right, this is Nick Federoff on gardening. And when we come back, we'll be taking your gardening questions right after this. Don't go anywhere.